Tell me what you did at the excavation.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was more a supervisor.
Absolutely, there's some great pictures of you that look like you've been bossing us about. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't do anything else.
Oh, I know.
Because, I was under treatment at the time.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Was you still proper in the treatment at that time?
Yeah.
Still going for it?
I was still on chemo.
Yeah.
Going in every week for chemo. And then the night of the party, I finished the chemo that morning.
My word, really?
Yeah.
And then
it was such a bad night, weather-wise.
Oh, it could have killed you.
Oh, I couldn't believe
We could have killed you. I didn't even think about it.
I just put it to the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Because all through the whole thing, I was very positive.
You were?
Yeah. I knew I would recover from it, but that morning I finished the chemo. They let me out of the hospital about 2 o'clock.
Wow.
In the afternoon. And I was there for before 9.
You didn't even tell nobody.
No.
This is the first I heard. You was there at 9 looking all cool. Yeah. And I said, do you like the system all happy? And you did something my dad would have did. He said, it depends how it sounds.
It sounded brilliant.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was good equipment. Top equipment.
Yeah. And what time did you leave? You arrived at 9?
And we signed up, it was 8:30.
So you was up 12 hours, partying, when you just come out of chemo. Go on, man. Yeah.
I didn't know to be able to do it, but you put your mind to things, you can do anything.
Did you like doing it, though?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, was it?
It's a night that you could not forget.
Yeah.
It worked so fantastically well. And the people, I had to admire their courage, because in that weather, they stayed out there all night. And, it was just brilliant.
It was. What's your favourite moment? Have you got a moment you remember clearly?
To be honest, just seeing the crowd and the way they were dancing, they didn't stop dancing. They danced all night till morning.
They did, didn't they?
I think a lot of them would have problems recovering the next day.
Yeah, I did. I was one of them with the hips. I had pains.
And then what happened was when it got to 8 o'clock and we signed off, the place, it was still full.
Yeah, it was absolutely still full.
People just stayed.
Oh.
They were enjoying themselves so much, they just stayed. They didn't want to end.
I think if they hadn't come for their music system, I don't think it would have ended. I think we'd have just carried on. So the last person dropped. Yeah.
This was brilliant.
It was a brilliant night. Do you know what I remember that me and you did when Ewan was playing? Me and you watched all of the projection on the ceiling. Do you remember? And we was going look at, and pointing at them from the DJ. What's your favourite bit about the actual dig? What do you remember from the digging?
It's just the enthusiasm of the people who turned up. People like Trig.
Yeah.
And they just put their heart and soul into it, and you could see the pleasure that they got out of doing it. And everybody that came and did a little bit. Yeah. It was just brilliant.
It was funny. It was
nice. I sat there thinking, I wish I could help.
Oh. No, but you was our mascot. It was lovely that you was there. It meant a lot, that you was there. And different people coming to say hello to you. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think really worked well?
You can't separate nothing. It was all, everything went just fantastically well. You know, I couldn't say which was more than the other because it's all, the whole thing. I look at it, the whole thing in one, you know. And it wasn't a pleasant time of year.
No.
You know.
Yeah.
It was cold, it was wet, it was damp, it was the mud and everything. And I was worried that we wouldn't have been able to get to the dance floor in time.
Me too.
You know?
Yeah.
Because they started the day from the wrong end.
Oh, I know.
You know, but eventually we got there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that we won't get there. Proper worry.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
You would because it was, you know, it was your thing.
Yeah.
You know. And the thing about it is, it was such a massive project to undertake. I don't know how you got your head around that.
I had lots of help, Persian. You know, the archaeologists, they was wonderful. Yeah. They was wonderful, and I'd spent a lot of time with them before we got there, so I could rely on them. And they did their job, really, you know what I mean? And they knew what they was doing, and I trusted that they did. Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of work. Yeah. But it's like you said about if you put your mind to it, it was just, it's got to be done. I'm going to do it. It's got to be done, and I'm just going to do it. Yeah. That determination is not many people could cope with that. God took a lot of determination on your part to get it done. No, it did. You had a lot of work, you know. And what it means, because of my insight into things, is that people don't realize how hard you work for that. A lot of people don't realize the hard work that you put into getting that done. Because you have to convince a lot of people. No, that was the biggest job. That was the biggest job. Because 3 times he said, you know, the council. And 3 times I was frightened. You know, when someone says no and they seem bigger than you. And you go, oh, okay then. And then I'd walk round the flat crying and be upset because he said no. And then someone would go, no, I'm doing it. Do you know, like, and then I'd get back on the phone and go, put me on to your supervisor. Do you know, like, and, you know, different things. I think they just got sick of me. You know, in the end, it's like, she's going to do it one way or the other. Yeah, she'll either do it illegally. I did have plans for that, you know. If they kept saying no completely, I thought, I'm just going to do it. What can they say? If it's already happening. Yeah. Yeah, that was the hardest thing, was to persuade the council to give us the land. And then, I was at the doctor's 2 weeks ago, my doctor, sitting there waiting to be called. And who you think walked in? Who? Cola. And said what? 2 weeks ago, recent? Yeah, just 2 weeks ago in my doctor's, waiting to go in to see the doctor, and he walked in. Came up to me. I've been trying to, I don't know how he got hold of mine. Somebody gave him my phone number. Right. And he said he's been ringing me, trying to get hold of me. And I'm thinking, what he wants to get hold of me for, anyway? But I didn't ask him. Yeah. I was just trying to get rid of him because I didn't want no conversation with him. And in the end, the doctor called. He came because I said to him, I thought you lived abroad. Yeah. He said, yes, I live in Trinidad. Cola does? That's what he said, he lives in Trinidad. He come over for medical reasons. Oh, okay. So he went in before me, so while he went in, my doctor called me, so I didn't see him after that. So you didn't meet him then? Why did you bring him up? Why did you bring him up?
Because they objected to what we were doing at the side.
Oh, Cola, yeah.
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 He started to mention that about they didn't get any permission from him. As to say, so I'm thinking, you're going off your head. You know what I mean?
I know.
What permission? You don't own that land.
No, I know. The council own the land.
So what,
It's not even worth talking about.
No. What?
Yeah.
We're talking about...
Yeah, about the...
And he just recent when I seen him. And he was bringing that up, that they didn't get any permission.
Oh, we were still saying it?
Yeah.
1 year later.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't really want to have a discussion with him because I would have told him where to get off.
He doesn't listen. He doesn't listen. What did you think of the Whitworth?
That was another success.
Yeah.
Really another success. And what went well as well was the after party.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
In some ways, Persian, I like that more than the Marquee because it was narrow, like the Reno, and there was more of just us. Do you know, like there? So
the Marquee was fantastic.
No, it was fun. Well, you see it from a different angle.
To me, the Marquee was the greatest.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh. I tell you who was great in the Marquee? Fonzo. Carrying on with himself, because he really gets the energy up good, doesn't he? Yeah. I tell you what, man, I was just dancing for hours. I don't even know how long I danced. Yeah. I was probably kind of in the middle of the floor, as well. What did you like about the Whitworth?
The turnout was fantastic.
Yeah.
And there were new people there as well.
Yeah.
People wanted to know what it was all about.
Yeah.
So it opened up to a newer audience. Well, people came in who had nothing to do with the Reno.
Yeah.
And, just, yeah.
You know that we're going there for a whole year.
Yeah, you mentioned something about it.
Yeah, you was there at the meeting. What do you think about that?
The only thing that about the meeting that I tried to put a stop to it was when he was going on about jealousy.
Brian.
Yeah, and Brian was trying to put it to a conflict. And I didn't like that because he was wrong. So if at his age he's still thinking along those lines, was totally wrong. That Jamaicans,
the Jamaican guys
to slag off Jamaicans. And I didn't like that because I'm a Jamaican.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't like that because that wasn't what it was all about.
Well, what was it all about? That was interesting what you were saying. What was he saying? The Jamaican like men...
jealous of the mixed race.
Okay, right.
And that wasn't true at all.
And what was you saying?
I was saying that there was a conflict going on, but it was the music of the arena put a stop to that. Because then they realized that that wasn't the case, but he still had it in his head that there was jealousy going on between the races. It wasn't to do with being jealous of anybody. It was just that two different cultures clash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the Jamaican culture was hard to accept.
Yeah.
If you're British.
Yeah.
Because we're up front.
Yeah. Yeah, if you've got one leg, you're called one leg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were so up front. Our culture was out there.
Yeah.
And they couldn't understand why we were so bold in our expressions. So it caused a kind of conflict to start with. But it soon worked its way out.
The only Jamaicans I remember in the Reno just got on. Like Squire's Jamaican, wasn't he? Was Squire Jamaican? Yeah. And the guy going in the gambling room.
It changed. The Reno changed a lot because not only that, I was running the football team as well, which was Upper Vale, which was mixed race boys.
Right.
And they asked me to manage them. And I became the manager of Upper Vale football team. And for them to ask me to run the team, there was no jealousy or no conflict.
Do you think he just meant early days though? Because I don't know what the Reno looks like before 1976.
No, it was always a good place.
Right.
It's just that some of them thought that there was something, there's conflict. But as I say, it was different cultures colliding to begin with.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking about 1964, 65, 60,
okay.
That area, there was a bit of fighting going on between Bow Street Cafe boys and the mixed race boys. But it was not a massive thing. There was just a few. The African culture against the Jamaican culture. And it was mainly, but there again, I don't understand where he was coming from because he is not African descent.
No, I don't think so.
The Williams family is from Trinidad.
Okay.
Alma and Chris's and dad is Trinidadian.
Okay.
So he is West Indian.
Yeah.
Descent.
Yeah.
While the conflict was between African mixed race and the Jamaican.
He might be talking about something personal,
something
personal in his own life. And a few incidents have made him think in that way.
Because it wasn't really nothing big.
Yeah. I don't remember any conflict.
No, because it wasn't what you say, it wasn't a war.
Yeah.
It was a few guys were having a problem, but soon sorted itself out.
But that's just males, isn't it? Yeah. That's just men do that till they sort out who's where, don't they? That's just a man thing, isn't it?
It wasn't nothing big.
Yeah.
So to bringing it up all these years after, it was ridiculous, to be honest with you. And that's why I brought in and said that the Reno changed all that, which it did.
Yeah.
It helped to change the whole perception of people.
Tell me more. Tell me more about that.
Well,
because you've seen.
I've seen it all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So go on.
Well, the perception changed because, like I said, the boys who were coming to the Reno at that time, a lot of them came out of homes.
Okay.
Yeah? And they were getting problems in town and the clubs where they weren't accepted. But they forget that we as West Indians weren't accepted either. We had to fight.
Yeah.
Because when I came into England, I was living in London. And we had to fight against Teddy boys.
Okay.
Because there was a lad that came over, a young lad, he was only 16, came over from Jamaica. And we went to a dance in a different area of London that Saturday night. And he got tired because he had just come over from Jamaica.
He got tired, yeah.
So he left on his own to go back home.
Okay.
And the Teddy boys got him.
Oh.
And they nearly killed him.
Oh.
So that caused, we had to go out and fight for our survival,
Yeah.
you know. And we in Manchester, when I came to Manchester, we still had to fight in town.
Right. What year are we talking? The Teddy Boys is the 50s, isn't
No,
it? Is it earlier
the
than
60s.
that? Okay, the 60s.
Early 60s in London.
And when did you come to Manchester?
I came to Manchester in 1962.
And you had to fight.
When we went into town, goes into pubs and clubs, they didn't want us in there.
And what would they say, Persian? Would they just say, don't come in? What would they say?
Some of them would be very hostile to us and want to fight.
Right.
And we had to, you know, for whatever reason, we had to fight our way out. You know, there was a few of us who used to try to go into town. Because I used to go to town with African Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, African Wilson.
Yeah. We used to go to a place called the Beat Club.
Yeah. Where was that?
That was Tib Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like a little cafe.
Right. Okay.
It was called the Beat Club.
Okay.
We used to go in there and play the music on the jukebox. You know,
and this is in 62?
62, 63.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it predominantly white?
Yeah.
Like hippies?
Mm.
Okay.
Night people.
Yeah.
People who were out at night.
Yeah.
And there used to be a lot of girls run away from approved homes.
Yeah.
Until the police get hold of them and take them back. Yeah.
So now I've got the picture of the type of club it was.
Mm.
Yeah. And you'd get trouble in there, or would in there be all right?
Well, we didn't have any trouble. That's why we used to go.
Okay.
You know. And then in the morning, when we used to leave there, we used to go Newton Street to the cafe there and have breakfast.
Newton Street. Where's Newton Street?
It's in, you know, the other side. Tib Street.
Oh, you keep going down, don't you? Oldham, Lever Street.
You know, when you come down into town.
Yeah.
Newton Street is on this side of Piccadilly. Tib Street is on that side of Piccadilly.
I still not got it. Anyway, never mind. Go on. You used to go there to a cafe.
Yeah, and have breakfast.
So the club was open all night?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it, because I'm 3 then.
You used to walk into town from the side.
So you lived in Moss Side then?
No.
Where?
I lived in I did. I lived in Moss Side. I was living in Mountain Street, not Mountain Street, Linkoff Street at the time.
I know Linkoff Street.
Linkoff Street, I was living on Linkoff Street.
When did you first go to I bet I've asked you this before, but I can't remember. When did you first start DJing in the Reno?
Oh, it was 1967, I think it was.
Wow.
1967, either 67 or 68.
Did you always play soul and funk?
I played reggae as well.
Reggae, yeah.
You know, because in Jamaica, you know, it was 50s R&B, 40s and 50s R&B was the music before reggae started, because reggae only started in the late 50s when Jamaica started to make recordings. There was a recording studio and artists used to go and make records. So all before that, growing up in the 50s, it was American music.
Like they like country and western, don't they? My dad go on then, what?
The dances, when you go out to dances, it was American R&B.
Rhythm and blues.
You know, and it was, all the sound systems used to play the same music, which was American rhythm and blues. And even when I left Jamaica in 1961 to come to England, And up to that time, reggae music was massive.
I bet it was a bit like punk rock, wasn't it? Do you know, like when it, I bet your older Jamaican didn't like it, did they? Do you know how Jamaicans can be conservative?
Mm. Well, they did in a sense because what happened used to happen when I was growing up. There used to be a theatre that I used to go to, this picture house called the Palace Theatre, and every Tuesday night they used to have live shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to have comedians,
Right.
Jamaican comedians, Bim and Bam. And we used to go on and used to have a stage show. And then after the stage show, they'd show films.
Right.
You know. And this is where people like Bob Marley started.
Oh, okay.
You know, they used to come on a Tuesday night and enter the contest. Used to have groups used to come on, and used to have the Wailers, which was Bob Marley group.
Wow.
And they had a duo called Higgs and Wilson. Very good singers, and all these artists, Larry Lakins and all them from at that time. And it was a big night.
Wow, that's mad.
Yeah. So you used to get 2 movies.
Yeah.
On the stage show.
For your ticket.
Yeah, that's what you go on for.
How much was your ticket, do you remember?
Can't remember. You're talking about in the 50s, this was happening, you know, it's a long time ago.
When I went to Jamaica, my dad said I wasn't allowed to talk to one of my brothers because he was a Rasta.
Mm.
That's how conservative he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how they can be.
Because they weren't accepted.
Yeah, no, exactly.
They weren't accepted.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I used to love when they had the meetings.
Why?
The drumming.
Wow.
You know, they used to have a Rasta meeting on a Sunday. And they used to come to the area.
Yeah.
And they would set up from about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And they started to play the drums and sing and play the drums. And then the meeting would start about 7 o'clock in the evening. So all that time.
Yeah, they've been playing
just
drums.
the music, and it was fantastic drumming.
And they're dead laid back, aren't they? You know, as well.
They're brilliant musicians.
What do you think would have worked better about the digging, if you think? What could have been done better that wasn't done?
Everything was done well, it's just the weather.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that I didn't like about it was the weather that we had to work in.
On the night of the marquee, I had to get the tent man back out to re-pitch the tent, because you remember how bad the weather was on the Saturday. And it was just, I thought, oh my God, it's going to blow it clean off the floor. You know, yeah. So loads of guys had to come back out, you know, and put more peg things in.
Pins.
Yeah, to pin it down. You know, put longer ones in. Yeah, to pin it down.
That was wicked, really.
That day was the worst day of the whole lot.
Yeah, it was wicked in the weather.
Yeah, it was proper, like, yeah.
I didn't think it, I don't know how it's happened, how it worked, because nobody should be in that weather.
No, that day. It was proper, it was horrible wet.
It was horrible.
But horrible lashing wet cold, you know, when it's hitting you, lashing wet cold.
Wind as well.
Yeah.
Not just the rain, it was windy.
You know that we're going to make a musical out of it all. Do you know that? I've told you, haven't I? So you have to, that's definitely got to be your job to select the music, hasn't it? For the musical, yeah, definitely. Yeah. What do you think overall? Are you glad we did it? Are you glad we did it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, me too. It's something we'll all never forget, isn't it? Everything about it.
It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a pity I couldn't do it every regular.
Yeah, just dig up the Reno every year.
No, not so much digging up the Reno.
Yeah.
But have that outdoor party.
I think we should.
If we could get the permission to do it, it would be nice to have those.
I don't know if that land is going to last much longer, you know, because he started building flats next to it. You know, like you've got the brewery, then the Reno, and then you had the next bit of land that used to have a garage on, a petrol station. Well, that is built on now. So there's the only bit that's left is our Reno bit. How long that will last, I don't know.
Would they give us the permission to do it?
The permission wouldn't be a problem now, because we've proved we've got show, but it's not cheap, you know. That night cost about 12 grand. Do you know, like, I got lots of discount as well, you know, because it was a thingy, so it probably cost me about 7 grand. But if at proper full price, the cost of the equipment was about 4 grand on its own, you know, to hire that equipment. Then it's about 3 grand for the marquee, you know, and the table and chairs. What's that, 7 grand? Then the lighting. And then you got the generator is really expensive. So 12 grand's too much. Probably about 10 grand it would cost. So you could do it. You'd have to have 500 people who was willing to pay £200 a ticket, £20 a ticket. But also, you didn't get paid. So there's all your wages. Oh, the other price in there was, it was just short of £1 grand for security. Yeah. I think it was at least 10 grand, maybe 12 grand. But I think I paid about 7.5 because I got lots of different discounts. Like the lighting guys gave me a huge, it was like 1/3 of the price. And the sound guys was massive. It was like 1/4 of the price that they did it for. But you know, if they was really charging me. So big up to Tube's lighting and to Tube Sound and DBN lighting. He was just great. And they brought the generator, but they gave me that for nothing, but that was something like 1.5 grand, you know, to hire that, because there's no electric there. Then toilets. So the toilets is only about 30 quid a week, but what they stingy for is the delivery and the takeaway. That's about 400 quid. So it all mounts up. But if people was willing to pay for the ticket, yeah, of course you could. Because I can't see that they'd say, all you need is a temporary event licence.
Yeah, but there again, a lot of people, whenever you do something, whatever you do, there's jealousy surrounding it. People think that you're making a fortune.
I know.
You know?
I know.
And I just think to myself, human nature is horrible. You know?
It cuts both ways, because all of us who wanted it to work was fabulous. All of us was fabulous, and most people, Persian, who came to that site brought food. You know, like you got people who came and did work, but then you got a whole other type of person that came at dinner time and brought food. You know, like, and drinks, and even like, can't remember his second name, Les brought bottles of water nearly every day. So that's really like so thoughtful, you know, water. So it cuts both ways. There was pure good people.
Yeah,
as
there
well.
were good people, but I mean the people on the outside.
Yeah, well.
The snidey ones.
Well, that's just stupid, because then they just miss out themselves. Do you know what I loved? Was that you couldn't get into the tent. It was so full. At some points, right, it was so full. I wanted to throw a strap and go, hold on a minute, I have to get in the tent, but I couldn't. I couldn't squeeze between people.
When I came out, I started playing at 9:30, right? And I let Dennis come on at 2:30.
Yeah. I
just came off this set, and I wanted some fresh air.
Yeah.
And Johnny said to hold my hand.
Yeah.
And lead me through the crowd to get out to get some fresh air. It was that thick.
No, I know. And then at one point, a really great thing happened. In one corner, Dave Brennan and Melvin Adai and me and Susie and all of us who was close at one point was all in one corner. It was great. It's like, oh, this is like for real. Yeah, and we was all just looking at each other and smiling because you couldn't hear a goddamn thing. Yeah. But I loved Fonzo, doing his bit. I did.
And about what we're planning for the new year now.
We're going to go and see about it proper in a minute. People are... I don't blame them really. People are upset about the price of the ticket, I've heard. £20 is expensive.
Yeah, but if they were going out in town, they'll be paying more than that.
I don't know how much ticket. I haven't been out on New Year's Eve for a million years. No, I'll see what I can do about the ticket.
Because that dance I kept at Morgan's Bar, on the night, on the door, we were charging £15 here.
Oh, okay. And was people paying it?
Yeah, people paid it and come in, £15.
Are you looking forward to New Year's Eve, to do New Year's Eve in the Night Centre?
Well, I've spoken to Ewan and Dennis, and they were up for it as well.
Yeah, everybody's looking forward to it. And we'll make it beautiful again, because that matters to me. That the lighting's good, that the sound is good, you know what I mean? That it feels like you want to be there. Because that all made the marquee beautiful, wasn't it? It wasn't just like, let's just slap something together. Let's think about how it looks and how... So I've already been talking to the lighting, that did the lighting there, to make it beautiful for us. And we'll have heaters and fires and things. It won't just be music. Yeah. Have we said enough? You got anything else to say?
No, just that we need something permanent, to celebrate every year.
A location that it happens every year.
Yeah, we have to do something that for the Reno every year.
Oh. Well, then this year is the New Year's Eve party. And then next year, when we're at the Whitworth, I'm going to do marquees again in their garden to launch our exhibition. So when we go in March, we'll be doing our bits from October to March, every week. And then when we proper go there in March every day and have our proper gallery and start to turn it into an exhibition, in September around, when we've finished and we've made it all look wonderful, they've got a park, haven't they? So we can have proper marquees again in their park. Because it was problematic when you had to keep putting your drink down to go in and out in the Whitworth and having to go home at a certain time. All they have to give us is their electric. And we can have marquees and have nice lighting again and have it all night again and bring your own drink again and nobody trouble us. So next year, next September, we'll have a doing thing, and then we have to, and then it depends whether that land is still available to have one there. But we can just keep doing different things every year and having different events for it, can't we? Like when we do our musical, we can have a proper event there, can't we? Because if you just have it maybe in one place, might turn boring. If you have it linked to something wonderful each time that we're now doing. Because if we do a musical, we've got to do a TV series, we've got to do a film, we've got to do a documentary. We've just got to keep going till we can't go no more, innit? Because why not? Are we ready to go and...
Well, let's go and see what we can set up for New Year's Eve now.
Go and have a proper look at the area. And ask Janie what she's putting on the big stage, because I think that means a difference as well. Yeah? Yeah. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. Oh, you know, I can see how much it was wonderful. Your face proper lit up about the marking. You could have been saying it was horrible, but your face was just like, just looked so happy.
Just loved it. I loved it.
Oh. I love sitting when you'd be sat there with your poor chemotherapy self, right? Sat there on the chair and it'd be pissing down. You know, with your umbrella, just chatting and smiling. You just used to be smiling every day, looking into the hole that we dug. We did a fantastic thing, didn't we?
It was fantastic.
We did, man. We did.